Hello YouTube, NinjaNick333. We're back with another round of the Alterniverse League Challenge in Hyde Park, New York. We have Alan on the left with Arceus Pile. Again, he loves his Arceus Piles. Versus Nico on the right, who is playing Gardevoir. So, looks like we're going to get a good amount of Gardevoir during this tournament, as we saw that in the previous round as well. So, this time, Alan is playing a control version of Arceus. He likes to keep changing up his Arceus lists. This is before Portland Regionals, where an Arceus deck that has actual consistency was able to win the tournament. But it looks like maybe he is playing Bibarel lines in here this time, so maybe he will be able to actually draw into some stuff. As we saw in a previous league challenge, Alan was playing a whole bunch of 1/1 line attackers in his Arceus deck, making it a little bit too inconsistent. Even though he was able to win the league challenge portion, it did cut to a top 8, and then he lost in top 8 because his deck was not able to perform well enough. So hopefully the Bibarel is able to make him draw better. That's all I got to say about that. So does deck search going to get an Arceus V here? Looks like he is taking notes today too. I don't see him take notes all too often. He also benches a Drapion and passes. Benching Drapion here, I feel, is pretty ballsy. Gardevoir usually only plays like one Judge, and I would not expect that from them turn 1. You'd usually expect maybe a Professor's Research. So I don't know if I would have just benched it down there, because you could always, if they have a bad start, they could always maybe just play a Boss's Orders. But I guess he does have so many double turbos in hand that it definitely doesn't even really matter. But at least as long as he has one Drapion, he should be a little bit favored in this matchup, just because the Gardevoir EX is weak. So as long as you have the Boss's Orders in combination with a fully charged up Drapion with 4 energy on it, you should be able to take that easy one shot. I believe you can still, let's see, so it does 190. So you can still one-shot a Gardevoir through 1 double turbo, but you can't do it with 2. So he will have to Trinity Nova 2 basic energy to the Drapion if he wants to have that play available to him. So Nico does go for a Level Ball Fog Crystal, it looks like, to get double Ralts. Is going to conceal some cards with the Radiant Greninja to be able to draw 2 additional cards. And looks like his start is not as strong after that, so he is just going to have to pass. I think, dude, I don't know. I think I would have retreated into the Radiant Greninja, maybe, just to leave all my Raltses in play, but I don't know if that really makes that much of a difference. Besides, like, just burning another energy in hand that you could have used for another concealed cards on the next turn. So I guess it really depends on what's on Nico's hand there. So we do see an Ultra Ball here coming from Alan. We will be able to get the Arceus V-Star this turn. And then we might go for the Star Birth ability, the V-Star power, which it looks like that is exactly what we are doing. We already flipped our V-Star marker, so we grabbed the Arceus V-Star. We're going to grab 2 cards, most likely a switching card, as well as maybe a basic energy, so we don't have to use a double turbo. And yep, there is an Escape Rope. And honestly, putting a double turbo as an attack here isn't that bad either. And we even see a Judge. So Nico did have, I think, more than 4 cards in hand. And we did see he had that water energy to be able to use Radiant Greninja's ability. And if he had retreated, you know, now he would have had to put up a Ralts anyway. So I guess not retreating didn't really matter. Leaves that energy in deck. But unfortunately, we'll not be able to use concealed cards on this next turn. So Alan is hoping that this Judge disrupts Nico so that he's not going to be able to get any Curlias in play. So if I'm Nico, I really want to draw into a Research. Maybe triple Curlia Research or double Curlia Research into Rare Candy Gardevoir EX or something like that. So it looks like we do have a Gardevoir EX. And the Temple of Sinnoh, so that's going to shut off both of these double turbo energies, turning them into single colorless energies that do not reduce the damage by 20. So Alan will need to be able to find 1 additional energy. And this is one of those times where I wouldn't want to have my opponent start their turn before... Like, if I was Nico, I wouldn't have put the Temple of Sinnoh down. I would have waited for Alan to finish his deck search, because now you put the Temple of Sinnoh down and Alan's still doing his deck search. He could have put a basic energy onto his active Arceus V-Star, and that just changed the outcome of the game. But, you know, Alan doesn't really care about something like that, so he's gonna just put his energies on the bench like he would have, and funnily enough, has dark energies. So it would be really funny if he's playing Drapion V-Star as well. I don't think he is, but that would be hilarious. I don't think I've seen it in deck yet. There is a second Drapion in there. And I don't know why you would be playing Darkness Energy unless there was an attacker that requires Darkness Energy in there. Oh, I guess he's got the Evatols. The Cry of Destruction Evatol, I think, can use Darkness Energy for its other attack. Yeah, so again, he is playing a sort of control-style version of Arceus. He's got the Drapions to hard counter Mew. He's got the Leafy Camel Ponchos to make it so that boss's orders do not affect his V-Star Pokemon. He is also playing the Flying Pikachu to make it so Lost Box can't attack him unless they use Sableye. He's got the Pidgeot V so that he can never deck out. And he's got the Mawile as well, so he can just boss something up that has a any amount of a retreat cost, really. Anything that just can't attack, like Radiant Greninja in this matchup would be really good to bring up. Force it to not be able to retreat. Gardevoir doesn't play any switching cards, usually. Yeah, it looks like the Evatol does attack for a double turbo as well as a basic Darkness Energy and does 100. So with the double turbo, you would do 80 times 2 for weakness is 160. I think the Shining Arcana Gardevoirs are weak to metal, I want to say. So I'm not sure if playing the Darkness Energy really matters if you don't have the Drapion V-Star. So maybe Alan just has the Drapion V-Star prized. So we see Nico gets down the Zacian V. Unfortunately, his hand is still dead after playing a Judge of his own. Does not get any Curlias into play, and is just going to use the Roar of the Sword to get a second Psychic Energy onto the Zacian. I don't know what Alan's doing over here. He put an Arceus V down on his Arceus V-Star. Oh, and he couldn't attack because of the Temple of Sinnoh. So he could have chosen to retreat, but he still doesn't have any way to attack with any of his bench Pokemon either. So yeah, the Temple of Sinnoh is really screwing up Alan here. So that bought Nico an additional turn. So the Judge from Nico's side actually disrupted Alan quite a bit, since he has no energies. So yeah, opening those quad double turbos, I think he did discard 2 of them. So that is kind of bad here. Alan has a Judge of his own, can just try to do the same thing again. Nico was able to start building a board here, was able to get 2 Curlias into play and Roar the Sword again. Now we see yet another Judge coming down, so both players reshuffle their hands into their deck and draw a new 4 cards. So what Alan's going to want off of this is a Stadium or an Energy card. Would be really funny to see a 4th double turbo coming down to that Arceus, but I'm pretty sure he discarded both of those other ones already. So, goes back into Alan's turn. We are going to see the Bibarel come out from an Ultra Ball to be able to draw some extra cards. Looks like still no energies on there, but gets the Mesagosa, so we're able to replace the stadium and actually attack this turn. So we are still going to be in quite a bit of a lead here. Nico's going to really have to get a Gardevoir EX into play on this next turn, along with a whole bunch of energy on his Zacian and the Sky Seal Stone in order to try to combat this. I mean, I guess he doesn't technically need the Sky Seal Stone because he could win off of Arceus, Drapion. Alan is playing the Yveltal as a way to try to beat Lugia decks. Lugia decks are pretty weak to energy disruption like that. So we do get the Gardevoir EX down now. We do search that out. It goes into the hand. We can rare candy into it. And then research. So that's a pretty baller start there from Nico this turn. So we just have to make sure we can get enough energy in the discard pile if it's not there already. So we got, looks like 3. So we're hitting 240 right now. We need 2 more energy. 1 to attach, and then 1 from the discard. So we've used 1 of our Kirlias. You can still discard another one with Kirlia, and then you'll have enough. Yeah, so we should have enough now. Gets rid of a Battle VIP pass with the second Kirlia. And I think we have another Psychic Energy in the hand. Yes, we do. So we should be able to attach, use Psychic Embrace, and then one-shot the Arceus here. Also playing the Temple of Sinnoh. Again, shutting off special energies, making them 1 colorless with no additional effects. We've got a level ball here. We can search for another Ralts to put down if we have any more left. There might be one in deck left. Looks like no. If there was a Kirlia in there too, you could have gotten that just to thin it out of the deck. So yeah, if you're Nico, you just attach, and then you get the 4 energies out of your discard pile, put them onto your Zacian, and then you hit 300 damage. It still goes through, it's still knockout either way, whether the Radiant Gardevoir is in play or not, because you would be doing 300 without the Radiant Gardevoir reducing 20, and with the Radiant Gardevoir reducing 20, you're still doing 280. Unless Alan's lying. He's counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, he's got 8 energies on him. So yeah, that is knockout. So gets to take 2 prize cards here. So now Alan is going to need to find a way to attack without being able to utilize any double turbo energies. I don't know if you're going to be able to have that. One of them might have gotten shuffled in by a judge earlier in the game, but I do know he discarded 1 off an Ultra Ball, so there might still be 1 left in deck. But his deck still has quite a few cards in it, maybe 20, 25 cards. So it might be hard to find that 1 card remaining in there. So it's really just coming down to the fact that Alan's opening hand was pretty abysmal. Gardevoir decks usually can make comebacks like this. Usually their first couple of turns are pretty weak, but then after that they are pretty good. Also, it looks like he does have a Raihan, so as long as there is 1 more energy card period in his deck, he should be able to attack. Looks like he's thinking about trying to go for the deck out strategy with the Mawile. I mean, if you don't have anything else, you got to do that, right? There are 8 energies on the Zacian. The deck normally plays 12, so they have potentially 4 energies left. if like 3 of those are prized, you could just win off of boss's orders Mawile. And then continually shuffling your Pidgeot back into the deck. But you are 1 bench space short of being able to put a play like that together. So he does go for the Raihan, does get a Lightning Energy out of his discard pile. I do believe he has a V-Guard in hand as well, so he should be able to attack this turn. So I don't really think you even necessarily need anything from your deck. I would just get either the Sharon's Care or the Boss's Orders. Either one is fine. It would feel a lot better if you had an Arceus on the bench with at least, you know, 1 energy on it. But, yeah, what do you do with Sharon's Care after this? Like, if you don't get knocked out, you pick it up and then go into Drapion? That's still going to be an energy short to be able to attack? Again, no energies left in deck. He must not play very many basic energies at all if he used all of them up turn 1. Off his first Trinity charge, or Trinity Nova, whatever it is. So we do go for the Refinement, gonna discard a Curlia, draw 2 cards, Refinement, discard Battle VIP Pass, draw 2 cards, one of which is Battle VIP Pass. Gotta love playing Battle VIP Pass in that deck. If you're Nico, what do you do from here? I think you need to go for another Zacian play this turn. But even if you do, if Alan has access to another Raihan, you lose. Well, not necessarily. No, so Nico doesn't know that Alan doesn't necessarily have any more energies in deck. I mean, if he's been paying attention to his discard pile, there should be 4 double turbos in there for Alan on the left. Alan is at 2 remaining prize cards. Yeah, I think Nico should have this. It's just going to feel a little bit awkward. You can just hit in with the Gardevoir here, but Alan did search the Sharon's Care. But again, if Alan Sharon's Cares, who does he attack with the next turn? So that discards the Temple of Sinnoh with that worker that he just played, which is fine. Again, Alan doesn't have any special energies left besides that V-Guard energy. I guess you're turning the V-Guard energy on, so now it can take 30 less damage, but you can just poke it with the Gardevoir EX this turn and feel pretty good about it. Nico is getting dangerously close to not having any cards left in deck, maybe less than 10 in there. Gets the Shining Arcana Gardevoir. This deck does tend to sort of deck itself out and then be able to refill its deck a little bit so that it does not, you know, lose. You can play the Miriam and stuff, put cards back into there. So yeah, if I'm Nico, I just attack with the Gardevoir EX here and just hope for the best. Now I can attack with the regular Gardevoir the next turn. But of course, then again, I have perfect information of what Alan has left. So he doesn't know that there aren't very many, that there are no energy left for Alan. So he does use Psychic Embrace, attaches for turn. Yeah, I think you just Psychic Embrace to as many Pokemon as you can, and just try to knock out maybe the Beeble. Or you can move it to the Arceus. You can even just attack with the Lunar Wing, or whatever the heck the attack is. The 110 attack on the Cresselia. And it looks like Nico scooped. That's an interesting choice. Yeah, I think if you had complete knowledge of Alan's resources, you should know by now that he's out of energy. He had to Raihan to get an energy into play. He started with all 4 double turbos. You should be able to look through the discard pile and just notice that. He used 1 or 2 Trinity Novas that didn't get any energy. His only Trinity Nova that even got an energy was the first one. And it only put 3 into play. I think I would feel pretty safe about the whole thing. And of course, people are tripping over my camera because they don't know how to step over things or around things. This feature match table ended up being right next to the juniors and seniors. This is essentially at table 1 for our division, so the kids were running around like screaming maniacs the whole time, saying such ungodly obscenities to each other, the likes of which I've never seen, and I've been to high school and college. I don't know where the kids get these language these days, but the crew at Champions in Hyde Park really knows how to, or Poughkeepsie, really knows how to teach those kids young about how to say really horrible things to each other. So we get the turn 1 battle VIP pass, we get double Ralts into play. We start with a Ralts, that is pretty good. Alan has to start with the Cry of Destruction Evital. Since he's got so many just weird Pokemon in the deck, there's just not a lot of good starters for him, so he is going to be forced to start that Evital instead of something like an Arceus or a Flying Pikachu that could retreat into an Arceus to Trinity Charge. So now Alan is going to have to Avery to draw 3 cards. And Nico's just laughing because he's like, that's all you got, man? Like, Nico's start wasn't super impressive, but it was better than this. So we do have a double turbo. I don't think there's a switching card in hand, though. If there was a switch card, this would still be pretty good, because you could Trinity Charge to your own Arceus, or even to the Pidgeot, for God's sake. That thing hits for like 80 or something, right? So Ultra Ball away, Bibarel, Sharon's Care. Alan's attempting to check his prize cards. Yeah, I don't see a lot of energy in that deck, period. We're going to attach a V-Guard energy to the Arceus. That's fine. You can wait till next turn, maybe. Hope that your Evital gets knocked out, and then you can Raihan. But I guess you need a basic energy in the discard to even use the Raihan, so maybe not. Puts a second Cry of Destruction Evital down. Yeah, I'm not sure what that does for you in this matchup, because it doesn't discard any Psychic energies. And it doesn't... I mean, I guess it could trade one-shots with, like, Shining Arcana Gardevoirs if they have to damage themselves with the Psychic Embrace. But you have to attach to it at least twice to do that, because you can't charge it up with the Trinity Nova. Trinity Nova only goes to V Pokemon. So we get a couple Curlias down here. We're able to use a couple of refinements, discarding some cards, drawing some cards, doing the Gardevoir thing. Gonna play Level Ball. Get another Curlia. I'm gonna have the whole Curlia army out here at this point. What's an important thing to remember is that you don't want your Curlia to get knocked out, so if you have the opportunity to retreat it into another Pokemon before you evolve your active Ralts, like, attach to your 1 energy retreater, retreat it, and then evolve it into the Curlia. So he puts the evolves the active Curlia now. I think that I would have evolved the Ralts on the bench first. Or unless that one just came into play this turn and I missed that, because I think he had 3 in play turn 1. So that would make sense why you would do that. Maybe he didn't have the Zacian. Yeah, he just searched the Zacian, I believe, with the Fog Crystal. So I guess that's fine to do it that way. But if you have the option, you want to retreat your Ralts into the Zacian first, then evolve it into the Curlia, if you can. Looks like we are going to be able to play Ultra Ball here. We're going to discard a Raihan as well as a Bibarel in order to get another Pokemon. We are going to get the Arceus V-Star. That is what you have to go for here, because now you can grab the switch card from your deck with the Starbirth. So he is going to flip his V-Star marker that's not on screen in any way, shape, or form. He is going to search his deck for either Switch or Escape Rope, as well as it looks like a Judge is what he's thinking about here. Oh, he's going for Boss's Orders, maybe? I guess you could hit into the Zacian. That would feel actually pretty good. But you'd rather just get rid of the Kirlia here to cut off the draw. So what did we go for? Is that research switch, maybe? Nope, he went for the Judge. I think that's fine. I don't think Nico had that many cards in hand at the moment. I think I might have rather saved the Judge for later. And Alan here, the only thing that he has to charge up with the Arceus V-Star is this Pidgeot V. I think it does like 80 plus another 80 if there's a stadium in play or something. I could be completely wrong. I know it's 80 plus 80 if condition is met. I just can't remember if the condition is there being a stadium in play or not. So 160 is okay damage number. That should be able to one-shot a Zacian that had to be fully charged from the discard pile. So in order to get 3 energy from the discard pile onto it to attack, you would do 60 damage. It would put you at 160 HP remaining. So I guess the Pidgeot could one-shot a Zacian in some way, shape, or form. And again, there's just so many just like bench-sitting Pokemon right now that aren't doing Alan any good. He doesn't have any attacking options here. So if he is able to win this game and have it not go to game 3, I'll be very surprised. Yeah, and again, I still don't see any Drapion V-Star in his deck, so I'm still confused as to why there's Darkness Energy period in it. Because I don't think there's any reason why you would ever want to attack with the second attack of the Evital from Celebrations. But we do start charging up the Pidgeot V. Gets 1 energy on himself because he knows Nico has a couple of Temple of Sinnoh in this deck. Wants to be able to prevent that from affecting him like it did in game 1. We are going to Palpad back in Miriam and Worker. Not the best 2 supporters to be getting back right now, but not the worst. Miriam could be good later in the game if another Gardevoir line gets knocked out. You could put maybe 2 Gardevoir lines back into the deck. Do have the 3rd energy on Zacian, so we can attack. So those Kirlias were used last turn, not this turn yet, so you can turn those back to normal. We're going to research away a Battle VIP pass. We're going to draw 7 cards and then still have access to draw 2 more cards with each Kirlia that you have in play. So not doing too bad right now. If we can get Gardevoir EX online, that would be pretty sweet. Be able to knock out this Arceus in 1 hit with this Zacian. We just need enough energy in the discard pile to be able to do that. Maybe get 1 more Kirlia into play. But nope, we're going to Rare Candy into a Shining Arcana Gardevoir. That is just as good, because if you can Shining Arcana into a couple of energy, that is another way to accelerate those Psychics into play. The Temple of Sinnoh is shutting off the V-Guard energy, so we won't have to deal with that minus 30, which does require 1 more energy to be able to get through. And I think maybe Alan's going to the bathroom now. Oh my god. Or maybe he's telling the kids to shut up, because I know the kids are really loud and annoying. So we're going to fast forward a little bit. It's so funny. 2 rounds in a row. I'm pretty sure Alan just ran to the bathroom. There's like 1 bathroom in here, and there was like 30 people. So it happens sometimes at these local game stores, when you have a bigger tournament turnout than normal. They do not have the facilities required to be able to allow everybody to relieve their bladders all at once. So we get another Psychic Energy here onto this Zacian V. We need 8 to be able to take the 1-shot. So, did we get to the EX Gardevoir? I don't think we did. I think we're still missing that. So, 679. So we're doing 180 here. Oh, Alan still did the minus 30. There shouldn't be a minus 30 because of the temple. It should have still been 180. Again, probably not going to matter, but that could actually matter. Mesagosa is replacing the Temple of Sinnoh. Yeah, they counted. They only did 150. That should be 180. We're going to attach a Darkness Energy to the Evatol. I guess the Dark Cutter, or whatever it's called, is actually a viable attack in this deck, according to Alan. So he can't one-shot this Zacian V, though, so trading the 2 shots isn't too bad right now. So even though Nico should have been able to get the 1-shot there had he gotten the Gardevoir EX, it's still fine. Nico could have just been like 1 more turn ahead is all. So Alan's going to shuffle his Pidgeot back into the deck. So that is a cute little interaction that he has, as he can charge up the Pidgeot, then research, then Pidgeot it back into the deck to recharge those same energies to a different Pokemon. I think it's just funny. And those are the only 2 energies, basic energies left in deck. So going right back down onto that Arceus V on the bench. It's just like 1 turn behind again, because if you had the Sharon's Care here, you would have been able to pick up the Arceus V-Star, put the other Arceus V up, and make it so you essentially negated Nico's 1 attack that he did. But we did see, I think we saw the Sharon's Care get discarded turn 1, I want to say. Unless I'm thinking about last game. So I think Nico just Ultra Balled and failed. I didn't notice him grab a Pokemon, so both of his Guardy EXs might be prized. So if he doesn't get a Guardy EX off of these 2 prize cards, Nico's actually kind of boned here. But I think that all you do is just swing again, take the knockout. So the minus 30 that they did, even though the V-Guard energy was shut off, isn't going to end up mattering here. But it could have. If Alan was able to maybe get down the, let's see. 6. No, I guess that still would have been knockout. Yeah, I was about to say if he got the Radiant Gardevoir down, but it would still be like exact knockout even through that minus 30, so. We're gonna use some refinements here after our judge, draw some more cards, get another Zacian down with another energy, and take the knockout and hope to God we get the Gardevoir EX off our prize cards. And I saw Curlia. I think the other one might have been Gardevoir EX, but I can't tell. Nico's hand shuffling too vigorously and it's not pointed towards the camera. So it seems like Alan's deck just has a weakness to letting 1 Arceus go down and then he has no follow-up. So he's going to Ultra Ball, try to find another V-Star. In order to fit all of this into there, he's probably only playing 2 V-Stars. There is one in there, though. I see it. So he needs a V-Star and a double turbo here, because he's out of all of his other single... Or no, I guess there's a V-Guard in his deck still. He's playing 2 of those. So maybe he's going for the Luminion for a research instead to try to hit the energy card and the V-Star. I guess that's fine. That's what you really have to do here, because you need to be able to attack this turn and take the knockout. And then if Nico responds with a one-shot on this next Arceus, then you just concede. Go to the last game. Or if you just miss it off this Arceus, at the very least you have to hit an energy card. You can still take the knockout if you put an energy onto this Arceus. You can still hit for the 130 attack, the power edge. So here's a research. No energy, Arceus. We got the Arceus and a Mesagosa. So, no energy. If you're Alan, you have to concede and go to the next game. Again, got punished for putting that regular Darkness energy onto the Evital. I'm not sure what that card does in this matchup whatsoever. He's going to put the Pidgeot back. Yeah, so this deck, the way he built this deck for this tournament seems like it's really good against Lugia and nothing else. I mean, maybe an Arceus Mirror, but I don't know. I think the Giratina version is the best version of Arceus right now, especially after Portland. I don't think it should have won the tournament, but you know, sometimes you just draw a good one card off a Squovette, and it doesn't matter if you're not very skilled, you still win the tournament. So, plays the Mesagosa, flips Tails, I believe. We did double Nest Ball. And what else are we going to do, Alan? Oh. I guess my thing's just going to minimize on me. Sometimes I have to tell the music to keep playing. And stuff like that happens. So, just passes after evolving, hoping that he doesn't get one shot. And again, this whiffing this turn actually opens it up so that Nico could actually hard attach to this Zacian V a couple of turns. And then just be able to two-shot this Arceus too, even if he doesn't have access to the Gardevoir EX. Which I think he did pull off his prizes. I think I do see it in hand. Yeah, so if you're Nico here, you retreat into this Zacian. You got the Gardevoir EX off your prize card, so now you can load this Zacian up with enough energy. You need 8 energy to take the one shot. So that's 7 from the discard pile, along with the 1 that's already on it, is 8. You are going to put 140 damage onto yourself. One-shot the Arceus. Alan doesn't have any more Pokemon with any more energy to attack with. He should just concede and go on to the next game, but instead he's going to check his opponent's discard pile. I mean, I guess he could Raihan to an Evital and then still be short in energy. I mean, he could Raihan an energy to the Evital and then grab the V-Guard out of deck with the Raihan, attach it, take the knockout, and then the other Zacian just comes up and bops you and you lose. So, oh, there's the V-Guard, but no Raihan, so. Yeah, I think the only out to Alan right now is concede and go to game 3. You don't have an out to double Zacian V right now. I don't know what Mesagosa is going to get you. A Luminion for a Judge? Oh, I guess he's trying to put together a Mawile play. Let's see, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 energy in play, which means there's only 2 energy left. If neither of those are... I mean, you could... Yeah, you could boss up the Radiant Greninja, attach an energy, the V-Guard energy, to the Mawile, and then hope your opponent decks out. But you don't have enough bench space to put the Pidgeot there, so you're just hoping your opponent doesn't shuffle their hand back into their deck. So V-Guard the... Yep, V-Guard the Mawile. Nico has to read it. He has no idea what it does. He has the boss's orders, but he doesn't have a way to move his Evital, so why did he even put it down? And then and Nico just bosses up the Luminion and takes the win. So that is game 2 of 3. We are going to get into game 3 right now. So Alan should be going first, since he lost the previous one. Looks like Nico might have mulliganed. There is a basic in hand here now, at least. So, I'd say you start the Cresselia, that's fine. Alan actually starts Arceus for once. Attaches the V-Guard energy. Puts down another Arceus Nest Ball. This is actually a good start for Alan. But, again, they're both going to have to play fast, because those other 2 games took quite a decent amount of time here. So we get the Battle VIP Pass for double Ralts. And an Ultra Ball, getting rid of a Judge and a Kirlia. I don't like the getting rid of the Kirlia, but sometimes you gotta do it. We do get the Zacian, so you could always attach for turn and Roar the Sword. And hope that maybe the last card is in hand is like a Research or something. So that piles in the discard. Put your Ralts down there. So you got the whole Ralts brigade here. Oh, Psychic Energy and Research. Perfect. Sometimes I feel a little greedy and I'll discard that Psychic with the Research. Hope to draw into another one to put down. But then again, I don't regularly win with Gardevoir, so... And we are going to see the Roar of the Sword. We see Nico almost puts down another Ralts. I think it would have been fine to put that down. You do play the rare candies, so you should be able to skip the Kirlia stage on at least one of your Ralts. Especially since you just discarded one of your Kirlias. Looks like we are going to Ultra Ball and Research here for Alan. Gonna get a whole bunch of cards in this discard pile. Gonna draw a whole bunch of cards. We get the Drapion V down. I'd like to see another Drapion V come down as well, just to have... Make sure you have the out to the Gardevoir EX when that comes up. Palpad back in the boss. Alan's playing pretty fast. That's actually good. They need to have a good pace of play at this point. And we are going to see the Trinity Nova. I'd like to see one energy to the Arceus and then the other 2 to the Drapion. But it looks like we're going to go all 3 to the Drapion. Okay, so that makes it so Sharon's Care isn't to play next turn. You're just assuming that Nico's going to hit through your V-Guard energy and take a knockout this early in the game. But Nico just has nothing, it looks like, and just hits for the 150. Minus 30. So that's 120. Yeah, so they messed up the damage again. They forgot to count the V-Guard energy this time when it is active. Oh boy. So we get double turbo to the Arceus, and that's why I would have liked to see the other energy come down onto that. We're going to see an Ultra Ball probably get another Arceus V-Star if we're playing 3 and have 3 in deck. Nope, looks like we're going to go for the Luminion. Are we going to try to pick off a Ralts? I think at this point you just knock out the Zacian. Okay, he's going to judge the dead hand for Nico back into the deck. Yeah, Nico quite literally did absolutely nothing on the last turn. Why are you judging now? Yeah, you didn't need anything this turn. You just put a Luminion on the bench for no reason. And gave Nico potentially a better hand since you knew his like 6-card hand had nothing in it. Yeah, because all he did was attach and swing with the Zacian. Puts yet another energy potentially down onto that Drapion. Looks like he decides against it, puts it onto the Arceus V-Star instead. Yeah, I feel like pretty confident Alan's only playing like 4 or 5 basic energy in the whole deck. So we get Refinement, Concealed cards. So this is a very live hand for Nico now. So Nico should still feel fine just hitting into the Arceus V-Star again with the damaged Zacian. Ooh, gonna get a big research here too. We still need more Curlias in play. We do have one in the discard pile, but should still be fine here. We do get a rare candy, so if we see a Gardevoir, we will be able to put that into play off of one of these Ralts. Looks like an Ultra Ball as well. We're going to get 2 Psychic Energies in the discard pile. And now we can get really rolling. Rare candy into the Gardevoir. So this is the thing. I think that if I were Nico, I would have held off the rare candy this turn. Just because if the Drapion comes up with a boss's orders and another energy, they can one-shot that from you. I mean, I guess that lets your Zacian V live, but I'd rather just let it die at that point. Oh, yeah. And Nico does use the V-Star power of the Forest Seal Stone and is able to take 3 prize cards off of the knockout of on this V-Star Pokemon. So now Nico only needs to knock out 1 more 2-prizer and then can even one-shot one of the 1-prizers for a knockout. So we do see Alan is just going to finish off this Zacian with the Arceus. Fails to find any more energy cards. So now that Arceus V on the bench is there for no reason, and the Drapion V has no way to attack either. So putting that 1 extra energy on that ended up not mattering. Yeah, so you could have one of those energies that's on the Drapion now on the Arceus, and then either of them can be finished being powered up by a double turbo. So Alan not really utilizing his very few energies in the best way, in my opinion. So we are going to Psychic Embrace to our Ralts, so we can retreat, and now we should be able to Zacian and take a knockout. Oh, we are going to go for a rare candy into the Shining Arcana Gardevoir, so now we have 3 Pokemon that can draw 2 a turn in play. Can get rid of that Curlia, since there are no more Ralts in play to become them. Gets another Shining Arcana Gardevoir, so now he can draw 4 cards, and if any of them are Psychics, just put them into play. And yeah, attacking with the Zacian here this turn makes it so the Drapion would have to come in to take the knockout, and then another Gardevoir can come up and finish off the Drapion. So I think Nico is favored to win this match now because Alan only has those 2 attackers left. Gets 160 damage onto the Zacian V, putting 8 energy onto it so that it can one-shot this Arceus V-Star. And boom. Nico goes down to 1 remaining prize card. The Sky Seal Stone not really mattering here because he's probably going to have to go through this Drapion. But if he has a boss's orders, he can just take a nice, easy knockout on the, the Evital or the Beebrel instead. So Alan now needs to find one of his energy cards in order to... Oh, I guess this might be turn 2 also of time. Because he just put down the 2 there. Because I saw Nico do the finger wag like he's counting whose turn is who in time. So this might be turn 2 of time. So Alan's last turn would have been turn 0. Then Nico's turn would have been turn 1. And then Alan's turn now is turn 2. That will give Nico on the right 1 more turn, and then the game will be over after that. So Alan has a Sharon's Care now that he has no more Arceus V-Star in play. So was not able to utilize that at all during this match. So Alan's got a boss's orders. Looks like he's going to bring up the Gardevoir EX. Going to move all those energies back to the bench. So if you're Alan, now you have to maybe go for the Mawile route, I guess? I guess he's just hoping that there is no way that Nico can retreat the Gardevoir. How many energies does he have left in the discard pile? Probably none, if he's making this play. Retreats into the Arceus. And then we just see a concealed cards to put a second Psychic Energy in the discard pile. You can Psychic Embrace, retreat, take the knockout, and win the game. Taking a 7-prize game, so good job for Nico to be able to put that together. I think Nico should have won game 1 as well. I think he just scooped a little bit too early. So that was a good showcase of why Gardevoir is good. And why Control isn't good against it, I guess. Cried Destruction doesn't do anything. So as always, guys, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe and all of that good stuff. And we will see you guys in the next round.